Greetings from Costa Rica and welcome to today's Friday broadcast. Today, I'm going to talk about the real reason that so many people leave Costa Rica. You will frequently see online claims like more than 50% or 60% or 70% of foreigners leave Costa Rica within Y number of years of moving here. Those claims can be pretty outrageous because, first of all, no one actually has those statistics. But I do want to say that many times those statements are true. The majority of foreigners who move to Costa Rica will leave the country on a certain timeline that might be shorter than you would imagine. And today, as someone who's lived here for 18 years and seen it happen thousands of times, I want to give the real reason that that's happening. Thank you very much for joining me today. You might notice, if you are a regular watcher of my channel, I am not in my office in Junquillal. Today, I was up touring in Playa Flamingo, and I decided to go ahead and stay here at this beautiful ocean view luxury home here, El Palacete, which is an exclusive listing of mine. You can find it and my other exclusive listings at cbpacificrealty.com. Here is El Palacete to give you an idea. We'll be taking a tour of the house at the end. I'll show you the most incredible ocean view from a bathtub in all of Guanacaste so that you can get an idea of where I'm sitting. That will be at the end of the episode today. But let's get on and start talking about our topic for today. I will mention that I am a realtor here in Guanacaste. If you are interested in buying property anywhere from Playa Potrero through Flamingo, down to Tamarindo, Langosta, Avellanas Negra, or Junquillal, I would love to help you. My email address is matt@costaricamatt.com. And if you want to look for more information on those basic questions about moving to Costa Rica and purchasing real estate here, you can request my V-book, a 20-plus chapter compendium of the basic real estate information, by going to costaricamatt.com, clicking on the V-book button, and filling out the form to receive your free copy. Again, I've been here for 18 years, since 2008, and I've seen so many people come and go over the years. And I've also seen thousands of people making those comments online that the number of foreigners who leave is huge every year. And like I mentioned, those statements are absolutely true in many cases. I want to take a moment and distinguish between people moving to Costa Rica and people either visiting here or buying a vacation property. Today, I'm addressing the people who move here or attempt to move here and end up going back to their home country after a shorter timeline than they expect. To do this, I want to talk about the real reason. I want to use an extended metaphor, make my 10th grade English teacher proud. And we're going to imagine that there is a colony on Mars. The United States government, a bunch of corporations have just spent billions and billions of dollars creating a space for people to live on Mars. Let's imagine it's 2,350 or 2,400, however long it would be before that could plausibly happen. This huge investment on Mars was done mainly for profit reasons, to try and find a new way to make money. And of course, the government and the corporations who had footed the bill for getting people onto Mars and living there in a colony, they're going to want to recuperate that investment. So, of course, they start to promote living on Mars. They start to really put out there all of the advantages to moving from Earth to Mars. They enlist the help of celebrities. Let's say they get Beyonce's great-great-granddaughter to move to Mars herself and start taking all kinds of gorgeous selfies. Well, Beyonce's great-great-granddaughter and some of her friends move up there, and pretty soon they need to make a living getting other people to move to Mars, or else they're not going to be able to pay their bills. So they start talking about how great it is on Mars, putting up Instagram selfies, all kinds of promotional materials to show how wonderful it is up there. And slowly but surely, even to people in the United States of America, it starts to sound like a great idea to move to Mars. Now, of course, it's incredibly difficult to go visit Mars, and everybody who decides to move to Mars has to take this move without even having been to the planet before. Well, you can imagine if you took a bunch of US, Canadians, European citizens, all of those people, and moved them up to Mars, they would have a ton of complaints. Well, the gravity is different. We're all trapped inside of this city they built for us. I can't get McDonald's. I can't have the same access to all of the usual things that I was used to back on Earth. In that scenario, obviously, you're going to get a lot of people who regret their decision. And the key reason is that Mars is vastly different than Earth. Now, this is an exaggerated metaphor, but this is really what I want to talk about in explaining why so many people leave Costa Rica, foreigners who try to move here, because whether you realize it or not, Costa Rica is vastly different than the United States or Canada. And if you decide to move here based on those people who are promoting the country out of just their own self-interest and trying to really make a living here, you may not have any clue as to whether or not the country is truly right for you. Obviously, there's a different level of infrastructure, amenities, different food, different cultural customs. There are traffic issues. There can be all kinds of difficulties living here in Costa Rica that you would not necessarily understand until you had spent some serious time living here and really getting to know whether this place is right for you. Every year, thousands of people make the decision to move to Costa Rica based on incomplete information. And again, I don't want to be negative whatsoever. There are brilliant reasons that moving to Costa Rica could be the right move for you and your family. There are huge benefits to living here, and there are many reasons that me and my family are happy living here, and the reason we're going to stay here as long as we can. But moving here based on incomplete information and a lack of understanding is really the ultimate basic reason that so many people end up leaving Costa Rica every year. This is a place on Earth where a lot of people move, and it's not for a job, it's not for a better school district, it's not because of logistical reasons within their home country. They're moving into a completely different environment that may not be right for them. And this is a place where lots of people take that plunge before really understanding whether or not it's right for them. So yes, every year, a lot of people who dreamt of moving to Costa Rica and who took the plunge go ahead and do that. They come down with all of their belongings. They book a one-way ticket in many cases. And then whether it's 2, 3, 5 years later, a huge percentage of those people are turning around and going back to their home country. And it's not necessarily because there's anything fundamentally wrong with their lives here, but really it's because in the beginning, they didn't know whether Costa Rica was truly right for them. They took that plunge based on incomplete information, and they're now leaving because it didn't work out well. On my channel, I frequently stress that the best way to decide whether or not this is going to be right for you is to come spend time here. This will be the right place for many people to invest in a vacation property, to come and go and spend 3 months, 2 weeks per year, any range of time that's not fully relocating here. This will be an amazing place for some people to invest money in a rental property and to occasionally visit themselves. But the number of people who take the plunge and decide to move here every year is, in the end, far greater than the number for whom it's actually a good long-term, full-time decision. And so you shouldn't risk your investment based on incomplete information. Although it's going to benefit me greatly when people do this and take the plunge and move here full time, you need to make sure that this is the right decision for you. And in order to not end up one of those people who's moving home really quickly, the best thing to do is to spend time here, to get to know things, and to take that plunge once you know for certain that it is actually the right decision. Before I go today, I promised I would show you El Palacete. The views here are absolutely impeccable. Like I mentioned, it has the best view from a bathtub in all of Guanacaste. If you want level-headed advice, like the stuff that I'm talking about, do be sure to email me at matt@costaricamatt.com. Follow my channel. I'm on live almost every Friday, giving advice, going over the market, presenting new listings, trying to help people make the right decisions for them and their family. Without further ado, enjoy the views here at El Palacete in Playa Flamenco.